Time magazine names Jamal Khashoggi and persecuted journalist Person of the Year.
Here's a summary of the article.
Time magazine has collectively named Jamal Khashoggi and other killed and imprisoned journalists as its Person of the Year for 2018. The accolade, given to The Guardians and the War on Truth, also honors the journalists killed in the mass shooting at the Capital Gazette in Maryland in June, 2 Reuters journalists jailed in Myanmar after investigating the massacre of Rohingya Muslims, and Maria Ressa, a journalist in the Philippines facing tax evasion charges that she has called political harassment. Like all human gifts, courage comes to us at varying levels and at varying moments. Time magazine's editor-in-chief, Edward Felsenthal, wrote in an essay about the selection. This year we are recognizing 4 journalists and 1 news organization who have paid a terrible price to seize the challenge of this moment: Jamal Khashoggi, Maria Ressa, W.A. Lone and Cure Soeu, and the Capital Gazette of Annapolis, M.D. More than 2 months since Khashoggi's disappearance, Saudi Arabia is still facing international condemnation over his brutal murder and alleged dismemberment at the hands of a Saudi hit team. The 61-year-old's body has still not been found and is thought by Turkish investigators to have been dissolved in acid. Time magazine's Person of the Year started in 1927, and recognizes the person or group of people who most influenced the news and the world, for better or for worse, during the past year.
This post received a score of 82,757, with an upvote ratio of 83%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Time magazine has collectively named and other killed and imprisoned journalists as its Person of the Year for 2018. The magazine gave the title, which goes to the person they judge has been the most influential over the past year, to The Guardians and the War on Truth. Those named also included the journalists killed in the mass shooting at the Capital Gazette in Maryland in June, 2 Reuters reporters jailed in Myanmar after investigating the massacre of Rohingya Muslims, and Maria Ressa, a journalist in the Philippines facing tax evasion charges that she has called political harassment.
What about the Maltese journalist who was assassinated for exposing corruption related to the Panama Papers and the Azeri administration?
Unfortunately, this seems to be focused on 2018 only, and she was killed in October 2017. Her name is Daphne Caruana Galizia and she absolutely deserves to be remembered.
Then there was a Slovak journalist murdered in 2018 that wrote on corruption schemes of government officials and oligarchs. That led to the largest protests in the history of the country since the Velvet Revolution and a fall of the prime minister at the time. I guess this didn't resonate much in the US, sad face. The US has super odd criteria for what it makes a big deal out of. I never heard of Jan Kuciak, but I'm approaching Jamal fatigue. I don't personally see why one would be more important than the other. They both died chasing corruption, trying to expose it for the betterment of their nation.
Khashoggi was a U.S. resident with 3 children that are U.S. citizens.
And was killed by an ally.
In an embassy, which is typically viewed as a neutral place where people cannot get disembodied alive.
He was killed in a consulate.
It was painful for me several years ago when several friends were arrested. I said nothing. I didn't want to lose my job or my freedom. I worried about my family. I have made a different choice now. I have left my home, my family and my job, and I am raising my voice. To do otherwise would betray those who languish in prison. I can speak when so many cannot. I want you to know that Saudi Arabia has not always been as it is now. We Saudis deserve better. He was true hero. Well deserved.
I feel awful that I didn't know about him and his fight before his death, but I'm glad I do now. He absolutely is a hero. I wonder if he had known then that his death would have shined such a light, would he have made the same choices? Would he be glad to know that his life has had such a huge impact?
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.